Well, the snow has melted and we're into a new week. New week, new releases, new reissues. Coffee time. Yum, yum, yum. Let's talk about the Jefferson Airplane too. Golden Gate Park, 1969, Polo Fields. I was at this show with the Grateful Dead. Kind of funky board tape, but fuck, man. What a great show. 14-year-old kid, loved it. So hey, it's Mazzy here. Sometimes that first sip, the first coffee sip is just, it's just bliss, blissful splendor. So the snow's dissipated, as you saw out my front window. Seattle, again, it doesn't rain, it doesn't snow that much. It rains a lot. But we had 12 inches in Seattle, 12 inches, 2 days of snow, 2.5 days. And now Tuesday, it's Tuesday. This is February 20. February what? 2021. Now that music I've been playing is kind of playing lightly in the background is this Charlie reissue from the UK. So I assume it's sort of a gray market, non-official release, but I don't know. I tried to order an LP. There's a 2-record set of this, and I'm going to still try to track it down. It is out there, mostly in the UK. So if anyone has any American connections, these days I don't feel like shipping from the UK, but I did order this locally. And the reason I was researching, and I found this when I was researching my vinyl attic video of Golden Gate Park. So if you haven't seen that video, I'm doing a series of almost like a Confessions of a Vinyl Junkie, Memories of a Vinyl Junkie. It should be Confessions though. And the Golden Gate Park one was just all these shows I saw live in Golden Gate Park, from the Airplane to the Dead to Led Zeppelin to Hardly Strictly Bluegrass, Show and Beyond. And when I was researching, I do a little background to see what albums I have in my collection. And I came across this. This is recorded at the Polo Fields, as I said in the overture here, in 1969. And I went to the show, I rode my bike to the show in Golden Gate Park. It's kind of a funky board tape, but man, I don't remember the details of the set list at all, but this is so cool. I know that the songs they were playing around this time. So, 68, 69 to me was the height of Jefferson Airplane as a band, live band. So this is great. Again, not high fidelity and not hi-fi audiophile, but come on. You and I, we used to get these tapes of bootleg shows or bootleg LPs from shows way back, and this is exactly kind of what this is, but it's fun. It's a fun, funky, psychedelic dream for me and memory. This video is showcasing new records I've gotten, and I looked at them. Most of them are older records or reissues. records that I haven't had or have had and haven't had on vinyl one way or another. There is at least one new record at the end which I really want to push and tell you about because it's a duo I really love and they have a new album out. So first, this is a record that Baraka P. Dub Paul turned me on to in one of his videos, and that's Om. This record I just picked up in the last week. It's 2-record double 45, sort of a beautiful label and beautiful colored vinyl here. I'm not always one to push the color vinyl thing. In fact, if I had a choice, I'd probably not get the color, and I don't think there's anything wrong with color vinyl. A nice, lovely insert, lyrical insert, spot varnish insert. What's interesting about this band, at one point Paul said it's called Advaitic tones. I think it's somewhat Arabic in nature in terms of the songs, I should say. I'm a sucker for anything to do with Jesus imagery, even though I'm a non-believer as the Messiah, but as the man, the Jewish prophet, or the Jewish leader, rabbi. Anyway, I love this cover. It's such a beautiful cover. What this reminds me of, I'd say if I had to name one other artist or band, it reminds me mostly is Dead Can't Dance, where it's got Middle Eastern ambient, rhythms and vocals, opens up with female vocalist. There is a couple of songs with this one vocalist who does have this heavy metal style of vocal, that really deep kind of, black, dark metal. And I'm not good to describing metal. Ask everyone else. I'm not the one to all these subgenres, but Jesus metal, deep. In fact, there's a song, number 3 track is called Gethsemane. I know about the Garden of Gethsemane. But the last track, Hak al Yakin, is really beautiful, but this really ambient sounding, mellow, dirgy, atmospheric stuff, and so really nice. So again, Dead Can't Dance is the closest I can think of off the top of my head, and I love Dead Can't Dance, and I love the vocals on this. So Paul, if you're out there watching, if you're not sending people into space or records to Mars or something, thank you. I really appreciate it. I get sucked into certain records from all you guys on the VC vinyl community. Okay, a couple other things. This is a record. I almost didn't pick it up as an LP, and I'm so glad I did because it sounds amazing. I have had this CD since it came out in 2009, and that is Charlotte Gainsbourg. Charlotte Gainsbourg, of course, is the daughter of Jane Birkin and Charles, what's his name? Gainsbourg. Come on, what's your name? Charles Serge, Norman Gainsbourg, whatever. One of the Gainsbourgs of Paris. Really good record. This is produced by Beck. Some of the songs are co-written by Beck. Beck is featured, has a few lead vocals on it, but also harmony vocals. But it has a sound of Beck around this time, 2009. A lot of it's in English, a little bits in French. It's really a good record. It's pop, it's rhythm. It's like it's what you'd expect with a collaboration. Some of it is a little dancey, upbeat, but really beautiful record. Of course, lovely cover. What a beautiful woman she is. Really great record. 2-record. It's 33 1/3 spread over 2 LPs, and it sounds really good. And I'm so glad I got this. All the rage the kids are loving. The kids into funk, jazz, soul is the Delvin Lamar Organ Trio. And this is their new record, I Told You So, on Coal Mine Records. I do have their other album on Coal Mine. I think there might have been a third one, but the other one, the live one, they're from Seattle organ, guitar, drum trio. This is a really cool, funky record. I will say, when I played it like 3 times now, and as much as I like it a lot, I'm almost missing something. I'm missing like a lead instrument, like solos. It's almost as if this is the backup funk R&B organ trio band you're waiting for like a singer or another instrumentalist. It's not like the great organ, the Jimmy Smith stuff. I would probably, as much as I love new artists and everything, I would go for Jimmy Smith's reissue on Tone Poet, a prayer meeting first before I'd go for this. And maybe it's not an either or. This is a really good record, but I just, for some reason, that first time especially, I wanted something more. However, I do like it, and it's great to support newer artists and new music. Cool record. It's just really good funky party record, that's all. It's not a jazz record, it's more of a soul funk, bluesy type of organ trio record. And I love organ, so it's something I have to have. 2 reissues I got on Music on Vinyl, and there's these 2 Peter Tosh records. I've never had this one before. This is Peter Tosh, Mama Africa. Look at that cover. Isn't that an amazing cover? I just got this, so I haven't listened to this one. I did listen to this one. I think I had the American original version as I recall, it had a different cover. I did get this album, and I had it, and it went away with my mid-90s purge, and this is called Bush Doctor. And this is the one that's co-produced by Robbie Shakespeare and Peter Tosh. And of course it has Sly and Robbie, that great rhythm, bass, drum, just rhythm section core that was really great on this record. There's some pop influences, so it's not as deep reggae as like even Bob Marley as much, although he's pretty pop, or Toots and the Maytals or something, but it's a really good funky. And of course, a couple of the tracks are co-produced by the Glimmer Twins, which is Mick Jagger, and the other Rolling Stone guy, what's his name? The other guy, Keith Richards. You forget his name. How can you forget Keith Richards' name? How can I forget it? But You Gotta Walk, Don't Look Back, the opening track, was somewhat of a hit around, and it got a lot of radio play. And I saw him at a club called the Old Waldorf, like right around the time this came out. Of course, the place was packed. It was sold out. We were in the audience because everyone thought Mick and Keith would show up. That was one of those days when, of course, Mick and Keith are going to show up in San Francisco. Bill Graham produced show at a club for this record. Of course, they never did. They didn't show up. But it was still a great friggin' show. So I saw this tour, so I love this record. These just came out on Music on Vinyl. Highly recommended, these 2 records by Peter Tosh. Another amazing reissue. Now, I used to have some singles of this band back in the 80s, and I don't have them anymore for some reason. This came out on a CD some years ago as a CD box, and I didn't get that. So I decided to get the 3 LP set by Killing Joke. This is Killing Joke, the single collection, 1979 to 2012. They're kind of a post-punk, funky, industrial, new wave, but danceable. This is a great collection, nice set. These are all their singles here. The Beatle connection with this one is their bass player Youth is the collaborator with Paul McCartney on all the Fireman records. Fireman Rushes In, Electric Arguments, and co-produces with Paul those records, and just brings on sort of just a wonderful atmosphere, adds to Paul, sort of grounds him a little bit, gives him a little edge, I think. But this is a great package, and it sounds really good. Now, these aren't audiophile, but they're really good sounding records. Of course, they sound like the singles pretty much, but I'm not A-Bing them, so I can't compare them. But I just love the stuff. It also includes some radio edits and Record Store Day exclusives and dubs. So it's got, the instrumental type of things as well. But it starts out with Nervous System. Empire Song's great, Chop Chop's great. I love Killing Joke. This is just really kind of gritty, funky, post-punk rhythmic music. I did get a couple of records in from Intervention Records. They're an audiophile reissue label that's doing a lot of things on A&M. I did order the two reissues of Power Pop Sensation from the 90s. I do have these records on CD. I never had it on vinyl because vinyl was very limited then, but 100% Fun by Matthew Sweet. And the other one I ordered, I think it's Girlfriend. That hasn't arrived yet. I think that's being shipped. So that's a little late. I love Matthew Sweet. Very power pop, got a nice sound to it. So I haven't listened to this one yet, but I suspect it's good. Intervention Records, Matthew Sweet, the power pop king, I think. The other one should be arriving anytime now. Now, this was was a cult classic in a way, and I had original copy of this, and it went away in my purge. This came out, I think, in 1971, 72, 71 or 72, I think. And that's Murray Head's album, Nigel Lived. Now, let me tell you a little about Murray Head. It's a very cult record. Murray Head, some of you may know because he was the voice of Judas on the original Jesus Christ Superstar 1970, Andrew Lloyd Webber, the brown cover, the great one of the Jesus. Is a lot of Jesus today in this video, Jesus Christ Superstar. Murray Head played Judas, and he had obviously the song Superstar was an AM, like a top, I don't know if it was a top 10, top 20 hit in the States and in the UK, and that's him singing, playing that part. This is the record he did right after. It's an ambitious record. It's really interesting. It's like a mini rock folk opera because it's a thematic story about this guy that wants to be a sort of a rock and roller musician named Nigel Lived. It's somewhat folky at times, some great acoustic guitar. It starts out very soft. There's a lot of musicians, a lot of people contributing to this record. So it's something you need to take time to, but it's extremely rewarding if you give it the time. I almost want to say it's like singer-songwriter or like psychedelic. I wouldn't say psychedelic really, but it reminds me of things of some of the psychedelic bands were doing around that time, whether it be Procol Harum or the bands that were mixing a little folk music in with their psychedelia. And I know this is a really horrible way to describe this record, but it reproduces this elaborate book that was in the original. So this is worth it. I still think it's available on Intervention's site for about $35. So I would say snap this up. If you like something a little adventurous that you have to give time to get into, and you like some of those folky records that are a little out there, you're not getting James Taylor folk singer-songwriter records with this record, but I think it's highly recommended. And again, it's on Intervention reissue, Murray Head's Nigel Lived. I think it's a cool record. Lastly, a group that I promoted on my channel a lot, probably before I had a lot of subscribers, and that's La Look. La Look, they're from Down Under. Is it New Zealand or Australia? I think it's New Zealand, and I apologize. This is called Dreamboat. The record's called Dreamboat. It just came out, was it Sunchaser Records? Sunchaser Records. Their first three albums are on Sub Pop, and I have all three of them. And this is probably the most beautiful record I've heard in a very long time. And where we are now in the world right now, I think the world needs a beautiful record. All the records have this beautiful, a little bit of singer-songwriter, but very atmospheric vocals, harmonies. And it's comprised of two people, Zoe Randall and Steve Hassett. Zoe does the vocals, and she's the lead vocalist on every song. And Steve Hassett joins in, does some harmony vocals, and plays some really cool electric and acoustic, mostly electric, almost like synthesizer-based guitar. It's really, really interesting. It's electronic stuff, amongst the really melodic harmonies and everything. At the very end of this video, I'm gonna play the final song called Daydream Part 2. Really catchy, really simple, but listen to the detail of the guitar playing that comes in, almost electronic guitar playing. It just adds this beautiful effect. It almost seems like a song you've heard before. But I'm gonna close this video out if I can with this song, because might be one of my favorite records of 2021 so far. But if you like melody, if you like really interesting melody and songwriting with a little ethereal sound without being too airy-fairy and too twee, it's got a great bottom to it when you hear it in person on a good rig. I just think this record sounds really good, really highly recommended. This is definitely my pick of this month of February. It's like a great Valentine's record. Just over this last week, I've been playing a lot. Luluc, L-U-L-U-C. Check it out, and hope you like all these records. And man, what a time, right? Mazzy loves you.
Daydream myself back across the sea, so far, yet I feel you so near. Daydream myself back across the sea, so far, yet I feel you so near. Till then I'll be in my daydream, myself back across the sea, so far, yet I feel you so near. Daydream myself back across the sea. So far, yet I feel you so near. Daydream myself back across the sea, so far, yet I feel you so near.